wasn't with this noise outside. It's so damn noisy. I don't know if it's cars or someone having a rave party or it's just constant. It must be. I think it's a celebrity over there has like music going day and night, day and night. I don't know who it is. I mean, I don't want to say. I think I know who it is, but I won't say who. But I think that's who it is, and she just keeps inviting people over there and ripping up the tarmac and just constant noise day and night. You can't get any rest from it. I can't study. I can't go back to school until that noise has stopped. I've got to be able to study electronics. I've got to be able to think. I can't think with that fucking noise. Anyway, so I'm still on holiday this year anyway. I wanted to try and find some work. I can't even find a job. I went down to, they gave me personnel group or something. I went there and there was no one even in the office for my appointment. So I don't know. Why should I make any effort if they don't make any effort? Fucking disgusting, really. I'm not working for people like that who don't even make the effort for you for the first interview, you know? It's disgraceful. I was quite jazzed, you know, happy to get that interview and the appointment and got there right on time and there was no one there. I rang up the number she gave me and some guy answered. I didn't even know who it was. Didn't really even say who he was. He just said, "Oh, I'll call you on the phone." I'm like, "Yeah, all right," but I don't do that over the phone per private interviews. So he didn't ring my home phone, so that was it for me. I'm not doing it on that mobile. It's all tapped and everything. People listening in. So if it's a private thing about my work or life, I have a ABN. I'm not allowed to have any taps on my phone or my line or anything. Having an ABN. I have a business I'm trying to start. I can't even get going with all this shit going on. I don't know who the hell these people think they have the right to just torment people in their home day and night, but it is not on, I tell you what. They're going to fucking cop it. I don't care who it is. You're just fucking stupid human beings to me. So you got to behave yourself, you human beings, or you're going to cop it. You're just flesh and blood. Don't forget that. You might compare yourself to a god, but you can't. You can't compare yourself to a god if you're just flesh and blood. You have no idea what you're dealing with. So, I've earned the right to be the person I am. I've done the work, and so you should respect that. I think I deserve a holiday for a year if I'm constantly badgered at school and trying to get to school. The bus driver's jerking the whole bus around. You can't even get a smooth ride going in. There's some real pig-headed, arrogant people around in the community. Tell you that much. They just do not belong in our country. If you're not going to be decent people, just fucking leave. I'm just ripping some DVDs that I bought the other day at the op shop. I like putting them on my. Some was faster than others. One was real fast. It was going about 20 megasecond. This one's 2 megasecond. I don't know why they're all different speed, but yeah, I get some DVDs from time to time. It's just my hobby because I got the server. I like putting them all on there and making a copy, so I don't have to, have my DVDs out and go through them all. I can just go to my server, click on a movie, and it'll come up. So, and lately I've been making a MKV version, which is like a Matroska codec one, which is it's almost DVD quality. It's kind of when they transfer the VOB to MKV. It's slightly less quality, but still it carries a 5.1 signal well, and it's a good container. It doesn't tend to jerk you around with other codecs interfering. So, as far as I know, with codecs and video, um, if you transfer a VOB, which is uncompressed, it's just a VOB is just the video on something, video on band or video on bass or whatever it is. That's like uncompressed, like a WAV file for audio or or a movie, or is it? I don't know what's uncompressed movie file, whatever it is, raw or whatever. So Vob's like a raw file. I suppose it's compressed MP2, MP4, but at the same time, it's kind of converted to just raw data. It's not. It doesn't have a container or a compression. I don't think of Vob. Whereas when you put it in your DVD player, the DVD player itself transfers that to a compressed state, like an MP4 or something. So your DVD player on your software will play it. It won't just play a VOB usually. Some like VLC will play it directly and decode it for you. It just about decodes anything, that VLC player, a video LAN, some kind of server player thing. But yeah, when you make a Matroska MKV from a VOB, like this program does, make MKV beta I use, I just get a key from the forum and it works for the month, and then it will cancel and you have to get another one. But I think just for home personal use, I don't mind you doing that. But I would buy it. I just never got any money. Usually it comes around, these sort of things. I just don't have the cash. Like sometimes they're expensive, like $60 or something. So I just don't have that extra bit of money. But if I use something enough, eventually I tend to buy things. I think what makes up for all that time I didn't spend the money on it. So I spent a shitload of money on movies. I don't feel bad about ever having a copy or borrowing or burning off a friend. I've spent so much on Hollywood movies, basically till the end of my life. All the rentals and the overpriced data ones that you get, streaming. You pay full price. It's just a streaming version, which is half the quality. It's like I'd rather for the full price, buy the Blu-ray disc and watch it in really good quality. And the sound often cuts out and everything when you're streaming. I don't know how they can charge a full price, $35 or whatever, $25 for a streaming copy. You don't even get to keep it. I guess these people really have no morals. They don't care. They just care about getting the money. They don't have to see their customers, do they? They can just wave and go, "Hey, I'm a great guy." And really, I'm probably a serial murderer, but I make movies. I'm top dog. I should make fun of them because I'm watching their movies, but honestly, I don't really like them. A lot of them are just violent rubbish. I just put on just to pass the time, but occasionally I get a good one that has a little bit of something to do with something. Usually it's just the same old. I think I just pass it through a machine now and just spit out the same films. Just like those AI songs that you can make. I made one the other day. It sounded funny, but it sounded good. But still, a whole lot of rubbish. Doesn't really. There's no content, no interest. But the Matroska MKVs. So when it goes from the VOB, it's like raw. It gets put into a container to then serve to your program. Because if it's not a container, which is a file, all it is raw data, it has to get transferred to a file first, and then it'll transfer into your video program. What happens with some older codecs is the codecs are out of date. So when it transfers the container, it doesn't have the codec in it to decompress it. So it'll either come up blank, it'll play it, maybe the audio will come out, but not the video, or vice versa. So half of it won't work and half of it will work. But it's funny because it should work, but they make it so when the codec's out of date, what it does, even if you have the up-to-date codec, right, if you're playing an older one that says it's compatible, it probably won't play it anyway because it will say, oh, this is, old video, you can't play it anymore, it's out of date or something. So they have all these in the containers that muck around with your codecs. So you might have all the codecs in the world and it will still not play some of your movies. They're just made that way. I don't think they can help it. I think it's there's not anything Unix does, it's just the way Windows operates. Because, say for example, not really viruses, but say you've got an old video and it's in a format which might corrupt your other files somehow, so it won't allow it in to actually play, because some files might have been coded in a way which is out of date with the new standard of operating system, so it might actually interfere with your system files or something. So it'll cut those out, those older videos. It's very hard to get some to play. I've got one there, I think I Love My Wife, I think it's called, and it just will not play for me. And it's an old DVD, but it doesn't like it. It doesn't want to play it. I tried it on VLC, Media Player and stuff. There might be like a DVD player you buy that's got all the stuff and got some error correction thing which corrects those problems. But yeah, I don't really know what they are. But the Matroska is the standard at the moment for MP2, I think, or MP4, one of them. And it's really quite accurate with its colouring and that coming off the VOB, but it does lose a little bit of depth. You know, it's a little bit flat. But you don't notice when you're watching. You know, you're looking at a flat screen anyway. But an expert wouldn't like it. They'd watch the original video on a standalone DVD player. They wouldn't do it through a computer, because the computer, the processing, strips all the quality out. So a real standalone DVD player only plays the VOB, and it doesn't really decode it. It sends it straight to the image. So you're not really running it through an operating system. So there's no decoding. There's no middleman. You know, like with these, there's a middleman, so you can muck around with the video. You can strip it off and play with it. Make your own copies, mash it up. That's what Windows was designed for, basically to victimize customers, so we get in trouble for doing what they're offering. So it was designed, I think, to catch small time criminals who are flaunting the law to try and have fun, and really, people copying software. Well, this was introduced to me by a friend who told me just search for Warez, Warez, and it's not really common now. I mean, it's gone since the dark web and all that took over. The sort of more torrents took over. Now even that's phased out really, and what it was a way for people to share full software, so they could try it out really before they bought it properly. And then they started bringing out trial versions where you could get a crack, and you could crack them, put in a serial number, so you get the full software, but then you could crack it with a serial number, or you could just buy it and put in a serial number and you get the full thing. But often the cracked ones had bugs and would play around with your computer and muck with you to sort of punish you for doing all that, I think. So, I mean, not that serious, but it's just to sort of victimise people a bit, to make them, probably turn them into criminals, so they become more like, the people that run these companies. I'm not saying they're all criminals on the surface, but really their intentions aren't that good, are they? To dominate the world and take over and monopolise and strip everyone else of their jobs, and basically leave us all sitting around playing around with the machines and making videos, and really there's no point to it, is there? I mean, you're not really fostering love in the world. You're just being harassed, tormented and blamed and all this stuff, and we haven't done anything wrong. We're sitting around just wanting to go play at the river or something. I just want to sit at the river with my dog, and I don't even really know if there's any good river spots anymore. I mean, you don't feel like it with all this pollution and problems in the world. You're worrying that you're not doing enough, and what can we do except plant trees? I mean, that's all we can do at the moment. I don't really know anywhere I can plant any. I could just go up the bush and plant some, but then, someone would come down, rip them down, or run over them with their truck or something. You almost got to create reserves that are protected. I think that's the only way to do it. To rebuild the forests and then educate people this is how life should be. We're not doing anything that we shouldn't be doing. We're doing what should be there, We're living a life now that shouldn't be. We shouldn't be on a barren wasteland, suffering heat torture and all these problems with, pollution and stuff. We should be sitting in beautiful little cottages, little smoke billowing from the chimneys, and enjoying life with our family, and cuddled up warm and enjoying the day ahead of going out collecting fruits and berries in the forest, It sounds like a fairy tale, but that's the way life should be. We should have little fairies and things in our lives, and little insects like to be fairies. That's what they look forward to. They don't really want to be scavengers all their life and eat dead corpses and things. They want to come out and show us their magic, and they can't. They're trapped in their little nightmares as well. So one just flew by and said, "Thanks, Aaron." This little bug. So they listen. They hear what we're saying. They hear the vibration. They can convert that and translate and understand that. So it's sad that the world has this attitude that we all have to be big, mean, tough thugs and go around belting each other up, and they reflected on God, saying Superman's a thug and he goes belts people up. That is represent justice. That's all it is. So people have a fair go in society. They're there to catch the people, not so much the small time crooks, but the ones really picking on the innocent. So they're just there to protect the innocent. So the ones that can't really defend themselves, the kids and the people out there don't have the means to sort of, find out what's going on. They're there to dig up the problems and sort it out, a bit like detectives, I suppose, or something, just to sort of there if you need them to sort of see everything. A bit like Santa Claus. He knows when you're sleepy, he knows when you're awake, he knows your business, so be good for goodness sake. It's just sort of an old fable saying, God is watching. There's something out there in the spirit world records what you're doing in life, and people figure it out. They'll think, oh, that guy's doing that, isn't he? And then they'll sort of have that intuition to sort of understand there's something going on. Well, Sander does it as well, like everyone else, but he just does it better. So it's not anything unusual. He's just very good at it. So we all do it though. But so yeah, just something to keep in mind. It's all normal. It's all above board. Everything I'm talking about is normal stuff. I just talk about the future a bit because I want people to have something to hope for and something to look forward to if they have nothing. And it's not just about death. It's not just about living and dying. You can actually move on and find new horizons beyond this life, and you don't have to remain a human being. There's no rule that says you have to be a human being forever. Maybe at the end of your life, like I was as a human being, and had to evolve, and it's just where I had to go. I couldn't really go back to a married life. I could have, and she would have had to evolve to a Superman, but she wouldn't have had that dream as well. So if she had had that dream, it would have matched up. But for some reason, she was brainwashed the other way to believe you're just nothing and you can live and die and just earn some money and have kids and that's your life. Whoever she was, that's maybe what she was grown up to believe in. I believed in anything was possible. That's what I like to think, because I'm subject to the universe. I can't think of something outside the universe. I'm a part of this universe. Whatever I can think up can be. I mean, it's possible because you're a product of this world. So you're not outside of it thinking up things that don't exist. You're thinking and putting together all the things that do exist in your life to make sense of it. So that's all I did, and I went to heaven. I was happy with what I found. I went to heaven. No one sent me there. I went myself, and that's where I am. So sometimes I'm not even here. I disappear. It's like I'm just remembering I'm here, and I'm off doing other things. Playing around with my Transformers or other things. And one day the world will accept that, and I'll just be there. I'll be in the moment. It's like I'm caught behind, but I'm there catching up. So that's what it's like for me, sort of heaven. It's sort of like it's already moved on. I'm sort of right at the backstop, waiting for everyone to catch up. And by the time everyone catches up, I'll be right there in the moment, and heaven will be the reality. The heaven on earth. It will just be real life again. Because we're not really living real life. We're caught up in a simulacra or simulacrum. Simulacra or simulation. We're simulating what life should be about with computers. It's a simulation what we're doing here. I'm talking to a machine. I should be talking to my wife. It's like copying a disc here. I should be making my own film. There's no comparison to real life doing a simulation. We're warned about in the Matrix. We'll end up in the Matrix. The machines will end up absorbing us, and so that's what Superman's all about. It's the anti-Matrix, it's the remedy to the Matrix problem, Superman. You can be beyond the power of the Matrix. It won't suck you in. You can find your own power and get the hell out of there and find your way to freedom. And I have already. It's just, this is the process you go through to getting through it all. So I won't ever get caught up in a Matrix. This is as bad as it will ever be. So just fooling around with computers. So that's 20 minutes. So it's for your benefit. So just know it's for your benefit. I don't want people caught up in the Matrix. So I just want you to have a good life. So Peace out.